Welcome everyone. Welcome to Capella Talks. My name is Rachel Arbelo Herrera, broker manager with Wyker Realtors Capella Estates. And today we are with the one. He is our broker owner of Wyker Realtors Capella Estates, one of the biggest companies of Wyker in South Florida and one of the number 10 top nationwide. Hi, Francisco.
Thank you so much. Finally, we're able to make it.
Yes.
And let me correct you. It's the number one office in Florida.
Oh,
Wyker-
so we are
for
the
Wyker
number
Realtors,
one in
yes.
Florida. That was
Yes.
a really big deal.
It is a big deal. It's been a process. A lot of people working together to make it happen. So it's not a one person job. It's a lot of people that are behind.
Every leader to grow needs a team behind it.
That's correct.
But without the vision of the leader, there's nothing.
That's correct.
So let's dive into the journey of how you became who you are right now and how did you were able to start this company a little bit more than 20 years ago. Tell me a little bit what inspired you to step into real estate more than 20 years ago.
Well, it took me. It was part of life, I would say. I'm from Colombia. I was in Colombia studying my career. I'm a business administrator. That's my bachelor's degree. And I was looking into, all my life, I was looking into hotels. So I was looking into service industry. I was born in a family of hoteliers. My father was a hotelier. So I was raised in a hotel, basically. I was always in front of people servicing other people. So I still remember my dad, correcting things in the hotel, telling people, the employees, what to do right, what to do wrong, and what they were doing right. So it kind of formed my personality from the beginning, because I always look into how my father was handling the service for all the clients, so all the guests that I was looking into, and there was his goal. I know that it was getting no complaints at all. So it was kind of exciting to see people coming back over and over and over because they were happy with the type of service they were getting. So it all, always wanted to be part of that. So in my mind, I've always had the idea of becoming a hotel manager and being able to do the same thing that my father was doing, which was, helping, serving others, and making people happy. At the end, that's what people are looking in a hotel. Like, they want to relax, they want to get out of the normal day-to-day activities, and they just want to enjoy being in a different place. So kind of look into that, but I follow my dad's advice, which was, yes, when you study hospitality management only, then you only stay in that business, and there's no other ways around. So you always have to stay there. And he wanted me to have, for some reason,
More choices.
different alternatives. Yes. So he gave me the advice of studying, a broader career, which was business administration. I finished my degree in Universidad del Norte in Barranquilla, Colombia. Graduated from high school in 1997. Then I went to the Army, Colombian Army, las Fuerzas Armadas de Colombia. I actually stayed there for 1 year. I was only 17 years old when that happened. So I had turned 17 2 months before I got into the Army. So I stayed one year there. Then 1 year later, I decided to go study business administration as my dad, suggested. Did 5 years there, and then we were having in the family really financial situations. It was a really hard, bad hardship, economic hardship we had, and we had to look for different ways out. So obviously, I was able to finish my career and pay it all. Actually, pay it all by working different jobs that I had. Um, so when I finished that, I didn't know what to do. I was, coming on and off to the U.S. during summer and stuff like that. My mom was already here. My dad was living in Panama. So I was looking for alternatives because obviously I was following the advice, which was, now that you study business, now what do you want to do? Now you need to narrow it down and focus on what you want, which is hotels. So I looked everywhere. I looked around the world, different universities, and I got into a couple of opportunities. One of them was Le Roche University in Switzerland. I was able to get a full assistantship, completely covered, all my tuition covered. But I didn't have the money for the living expenses. And it was in the middle of nowhere. I didn't know anybody. And I had the approval. Yes, I had the approval from the university saying, hey, congratulations, you made it. We're going to pay you for this tuition. So it was interesting because it was one of the best hotels, hotel management universities in the world. Usually,
a huge deal.
it's a huge deal. You go down once you finish that, the 2 years, because I was trying to do an MBA. Once you finish the MBA, they automatically send you to the Ritz Carlton in Switzerland, in Geneva. So that was huge for me. Yes, one of the best ones. So, but I obviously didn't have the resources. My dad was not doing well. My mom was here in the U.S. already. She was not doing well either. So they were basically working to survive. I was everything that I was doing, all the money that I was making, it was only for me to survive, myself too. So at the end, what happened was that I got into, in the middle of the process, one of my angels in the road got into it. So got connected. She's that angel. It's my cousin Danny's sister.
Oh, really?
So that's one of the angels. So what happened? She was working at the university that's the university that I finished my MBA, and they had these programs for international students, for foreign students, and that program actually helped the students, and they will pay all the tuition. So and in exchange, we would have to work for the university. So the idea was working for the university part time, and in lieu of that, we'll get the tuition for free.
That is Lynn University, right?
Lynn University,
which is a great school also
it's
for
a
administration.
great private school. Yes, it's really good for business. So she told me, well, you need to apply for this. Obviously, she guided me through the process, like go apply here, do this, do that. And she was working like really close to the admission department. So that kind of helped me a lot. They approved me. There was only 2 approvals in the entire university, 2 or 3. Only 2 or 3 students, international students, and I was one of them. So the blessing was that not only that, but my other angel, which is my aunt, Danny's mom, she was living like 30 minutes away, 20 minutes away.
So you were staying with them.
So she said, well, you stay here. While you stay here, we can, you can stay here as long as you want. So I had covered the living expenses because she was helping me. So I'm like, well, this is an opportunity that I cannot let go. So I said, well, it is because God guided me through here, and this is the place that I have to be.
Everything happens for a reason. You were blessed,
So
and He
yes,
guided you.
and then
It wasn't your plan; it was His plan.
it was His plan. So but I just follow it, and I just started working for the university. I was working with the university in the afternoons, and at night I was taking my classes. So I finished an MBA with a major in hospitality management, which was what I wanted always all my life, right?
And what happened that you ended with real estate?
So obviously happened the immigration situation, and you always wanna stay in this beautiful country, um, because of the American dream. You wanna live it, and I was already living it, and I knew that I wanted to stay here because I had so much more opportunities than if I go back to Colombia or if I go back to Panama where my dad was living. So I just, started out. Something amazing happened. Another angel from the same family. That was Danny. Danny was working at a real estate company, which he started like in uh, 4 years before that, something like that. They were looking into a franchise because
Let me explain something before. We are mentioning Danny, and for those of you that doesn't know, we are right now in the facilities of Apple Tower. Thank you, Apple Tower, for the hospitality of having us. And this is owned by Danny Manzano, his cousin.
exactly blood cousin. It's like really close. Not only that, but we grew up together. We were like brothers. So it's like a family. Yes, my mom and my aunt, they're sisters, but we grew up together, like every weekend together. So, anyways, so that's my other angel. That at that point, the company that he was working for was growing rapidly. It was 2004, 2005, and they were looking into ways of expanding their real estate business because their main base was title and mortgages. So in order to grow the real estate, they knew they needed some help. They needed some support. So they started inquiring about different franchises, and they got into Weichert. I didn't know anything about this until they signed up the agreement. But Weichert actually, one of the advices they give is that every office should have a sales manager. So they started looking for a sales manager. And because we are in a very Hispanic area, they were looking into a bilingual person with some experience, but not necessarily all the experience of the world, but someone who could handle and who had the managerial skills to handle that. So Danny told me, you need to apply for this. I think you can get the job. And not only you can get the job, but there's a possibility that later on, because once you finish an MBA here, you get a 1 year OPT, which is a 1 year of, well, that was back then. I don't know what's today, but back then they will give you a working permit for 1 year. So I had the opportunity. He told me there may be the chance that they sponsor a working visa for you.
And at that time, you had the preparation of being a manager, but you were not a licensee in real estate yet.
Correct, not yet. But I had some real estate experience because during my time in the university, I was working part-time with a real estate company that was local here in Weston. They were offering 100% splits when the 100% splits was booming back there in 2004, 2005. So I kind of had the experience, but I was only an assistant of the manager. And before that, I worked with managing properties. I did my, in Colombia, they give us a couple of semesters that you can work in whatever you want to work, right? So I was able to find help with a company that was doing management. Okay, so I kind of had the same experience I was only 24 years old. Not that I could say I had a lot of experience, but I had been working since I was 17.
And for some reason, you were able to have those study sponsorships is because you had the potential and they saw it in you.
Well, yes, and they do require certain degrees. They do require the grades to be at a certain level. They do require different exams that are hard. The TOEFL, I don't remember the names, but it was like the TOEFL, GMAT. Uh, Back then, it was different names, but they were hard to pass. So those requirements you had to fulfill. So yes, a lot of people apply, and yes, I had someone who guided me and helped me. But at the same time, yes, you have to put on your efforts on it to make it happen. A funny fact is that when I never went to a bilingual school. My school everything was in Spanish. I barely had one English class per week, something like that. It was not major. Um, Versus other schools in Barranquilla where they had all the classes in English. So when I got here, that was one of my failures, one of my
Limitations.
limitations that I had. So, but I said, you know what? Eh, I've watched so much HBO back then and all the movies. I used to watch all the captions. So I had the idea, but I didn't have I was not that fluent.
I look at you nowadays.
Yes. I mean, but it was kind of scary. I remember one day I said, "Well, I'm gonna start on this MBA, and everybody here they speak fluent English. I'm like really bad at it. So what do I do?" And
Intimidating.
I couldn't understand. And if you know MBA, because you're MBA too,
Yeah, I have an MBA.
it's also it's all about essays, presentations.
A lot of group presentations.
It was a lot of presenting
Yeah, all the
every
time,
class,
every
every
week.
class, every week. So
And collaboration between one
I was
another.
I was really, really, really nervous back then. So I said, well, I have to learn something. I don't remember if Best Buy it was Best Buy or Comp USA. I think it was Comp USA. They went bankruptcy a long year.
At that time, I was in Puerto Rico.
Okay, Comp USA. They used to sell these recording machines, like little recording machines, and I bought one of them, and I would go every class. I would stay in front of the teacher, and I put my recording machine and I put record. I couldn't understand the first 3 months. I didn't understand anything, so I would go back to my house and listen back again what was the class about, and I had a little dictionary.
You should be a speaker of resilience, right?
It's
That's
part of the
so
story.
impressive, no? It should be very interesting.
Yes, it's part of the background that I think sometimes people is not. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about everybody. You cannot underestimate the position where people are at that moment, because if they made it there, it's because they put a lot of effort in. So it's not lucky. It's not luck.
Totally agree.
But it's good that we're here sharing that story. So that's what happened to me back then, and now I was telling about that story. ¿Por qué? Se me olvidó.
Because I was asking you, how did you start? And from being selected as the sales manager, how did you become the broker owner?
Oh, okay. So that's what we're talking about. So, well, we had, because it's more than that. Now I know what I was talking. The experience. Okay, go back to that.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So that experience was limited, but I had been working for years since I was little, and then kind of helped me with with this process of when I had the interview, the person who interviewed me was like, okay, asking me. They started asking me questions, but I was always very resourceful. I was always, if I didn't know anything, I was very honest, and I would say I don't know, but I know that I can do it. I know that I can make it. I know, and I will make it. So I was always very positive, and that kind of
Self-confident.
yes, that kind of set the tone for my interview. And same day she said like, yeah, you got the job. So I started in 2000
Congratulations.
in May 15 2005 as the
Do you
sales
remember
manager.
exactly the date?
Yes,
Oh
I
my God.
remember the day. May 15 2005 as the sales manager of Weichert Realtors Town Center Group.
And that was here in
It
Weston?
was here in Weston. They had about 20 agents in that at that moment in 2005. Um, it was very scary because I didn't know. I thought I knew about real estate, but I didn't know anything when I started because Weichert always sends you to a training that you've been there. It's a
The
Weichert
leadership?
the Leadership Academy. Back then, it was the Management Academy. That was the name. So when I got into the Management Academy in New Jersey, in front of everybody, all these people that were experts in real estate, I was like, I don't know anything about this. So what do I do? It was kind of hard. And in addition, I had a rough beginning because all my agents were older than me. I was only 24 years old. And all these salespeople were, over 40. They've been selling for years.
I can
So
relate to that,
so not very easy, very intimidating. And I remember I will always remember the first time they introduced me to the sales team because that was one of the scariest moments that I've had in my life.
And how did they accept you?
Some people actually welcomed me. Some people were really
Who's that
like
kiddo?
like
Who's that kiddo that
what
is
is
coming
the
here to
what is
manage
the
me?
kids this kid's gonna teach me. He's too young. He doesn't know anything about real estate. I mean, why did they bring this guy? So yes, of
So you
course,
had to prove yourself with them.
yes, and my idea was to do it always little by little, and my philosophy was, if I don't know something, I'm not gonna try to impress you.
You have told me that little by little.
Yes, little by little. So it's always like that in my life. But with that motto, I think that's one of the main reasons why we stand where we stand today. Because you cannot build something I mean, yes, some people are smarter than you. You have to be humble enough to know that you have certain capabilities. But once you know what you have, and you persevere and you're disciplined, hard work pays off. But hard work, it's daily. Hard work is not something that you just do one day and stop, and then out of sudden you're a billionaire. No, that's not gonna happen.
It's not about lucky.
It's not about that. So back then it was, well, to my agents, I was like very scared. In front of them, some of those agents are still with me.
Oh yeah.
Yes, some of them are still with me. I'm gonna give you names. Carmen Nieves. She
Wow,
was
that's
there.
why
She
she
was
said that
there
she
in
missed
that
you when you were a
meeting.
baby.
She was there in that meeting. Guillermo Pineda. He was there in that meeting.
Iliana Wexner was.
Iliana Weissner. Yes, she was there in that meeting, and she's still with me. Andrew Mueller. Andrew Mueller, which he moved to Orlando recently. He was there with me right there in that meeting, and he's still with me. So
For some reason, they are still with you.
yes, and it's been it's been a lot of bumps in the road, but we're still here. Now, if I ask them, they still remember my voice that first meeting because I couldn't talk. I was not able. I mean, I started talking when they introduced me in front of them. I panicked.
You were frozen.
I panicked. It was the most frightening moment that I've had in my life. In front of 24 agents, 20 some agents, like two big tables, two round tables, big. It was a nice conference room. And I was standing in the middle of those tables full of knowledgeable real estate agents. So yes, I felt
It
very
was two
intimidated.
skirts. It's like public speaking plus.
Public speaking plus my language, it's my second language. Plus I didn't know about real estate that much. And I knew deep
It's
inside of
like
me
they know
that
better than me.
they knew better than me. So my voice started cracking, like "Rah, rah, rah, rah." Bad, like bad. My legs started shaking. Obviously, it was very noticeable. You could see it in my face. You could see it in my voice. You could see it in my hands. I was shaking. I was shaking all over. So
And they were gentle.
yes, at that moment they understood, and they said, "Don't worry, we don't bite." I remember, "Don't worry, we don't bite." I'm like, okay, my name is Francisco Capella. It was horrible. Anyways, that was, imagine, sometime in May of 2005. Um, so that's when I started with Wiker.
Oh wow! What a great story. Amazing. I
Amazing, yeah.
didn't know about all that.
Okay.
And is knowing better is like more ways to have an honor of working together and also an honor of being part of Biker Realtors Capella States.
Yes, and now I guess the journey about Wiker Capella States, right?
Yeah. When you did your first deal in real estate, was you already working as a manager, right?
Yes.
And then how did you become the broker owner of the company that you were managing?
Before that, well, it was the first franchise that I worked for. The first Wiker that I worked for was Wiker Realtors Town Center Group. It was actually owned by Carlos Valentin and Danny Manzano, my cousin. He had a small partnership, but the majority of the partnership was owned by Carlos Valentin and his wife Brenda Castro. So obviously the market crashed in 2006, 2007. Things started going bad. Even though on that first year that I started as a sales manager, I started from 20 some agents and I jumped in less than 12 months to more than 100 agents I recruited.
Really?
Yeah. So I was doing all the recruiting. I was doing all the meetings. I was doing all the contracts reviewing.
So now
All
we know that Wikers know.
Yes. And I was in a little desk in the middle of everybody. So I didn't have an office. My position was a sales manager, but I was not seen as a sales manager. I kind of was seen like another associate in the company because I was in the middle of everybody, just a small cubicle. Later on, obviously, yes, when I started growing and growing in knowledge, and I had more responsibilities, then yes, they moved me to a private office. But back then was just a cubicle. Started, then 2006, I had over 100 agents, which a lot of those agents from Town Center Group, not from the first meeting we had, but from Town Center Group, are still with me.
The one that you recruit.
Yes, yes. I'm talking about Carmen and Luis Galindez. I'm talking about who else that I remember? Oh, Karin Nudelman. Yes, Karin Nudelman still with me from long time, 20 years with me. I gotta review the list, but I know there's a bunch. So 2000 and 2006, even though the market was going bad, we were actually doing really good. For some reason, this office was thriving. We were breaking records. The market was going down and we were going up. And I was like, what's going on?
It was about the culture. Why do you think that it was that?
Eh, I think it was part of, that we've had um, the idea of a real company, not just a business, just a company with their employees growing all together, working all together, um, and people that really had the knowledge, the background. Um, so that kind of helped. But at the end, the market was going to crash regardless. So even if we were doing really good, it happened to everybody. So yes, we stayed up for a little bit. Then 2007, mid 2007, things started going south really bad. You started seeing like one day you had a closing and then you couldn't close because the bank shut down. In the middle of the closing, you would get a call from the bank saying, or no, not even, you wouldn't even get a call. You were ready, you closed the document, you signed the documents, and you were calling to get the disbursements, and no one answering, no one answering. Then you happen to know somebody inside the bank and call them directly on their cell phone. And hey, I'm trying to call the closing department, but they're not answering. You know what's going on? Oh, sorry, they shut the doors today and no one was able to get into the bank.
Wow.
So they're shutting down the bank. So imagine that moment, a buyer waiting to get their keys, but couldn't get the finances.
Yeah, I remember those days
that was
were
really
very
bad.
hard.
So things started going south. 2008, Town Center Group had the opportunity to join forces with Weichert Realtor, another very successful Weichert office in South Florida. It was a little newer than us. I think they opened in 2006, the franchise, but they were mainly in South Beach. So they had Miami and South Beach. So they had about, back then it was 5 or 6 offices. And the owners were looking into expanding the business. So they got together with the owner of Weichert Realtors Town Center Group, with the owner of Weichert Realtors Best Beach, and they kind of merged both. And I started working with Weichert Realtors Best Beach. So one of the things that I became once I became part of Weichert Realtors Best Beach is that they requested me and the title business to be part of it. So I think most of the employees of Town Center Group back then, they were laid off, but I stayed because I was, I had been 3 years already managing these agents, and they knew me, and I knew the market, and I had the experience already. So we reduced the size of the office from 5,000 square feet all the way to about 800 square feet here
Wow,
in
super
Weston.
tiny.
Yeah, very very tiny office. But we had to. We lost about 50% of our sales
It's
force.
part of the adjustment to certain
50, and we were
strategies.
surviving out of short sales, out of foreclosures,
And the
rentals.
agents, you were able to retain the agents even
Yeah.
though they were
I,
working probably from
I,
home?
I probably I remember losing, but not because of the merging. Because
It was
at the
because
end,
of the conditions of the
it was
market.
still Weichert, so it was easy. The transition was easy, but because of the market, I lost about 50% of my sales force. So kind of from being an office, having everything in house, it was a one person show, just me. So me managing it, even though the owner of the Weichert Realtors Best Beach, they had other offices in Miami, but I was the only one managing this office, and I was in charge of the entire operation. So that was 2008. So I became an employee of Weichert Realtors Best Beach Real Estate. So we went through the crisis. Bad years went back. 2008, 2009, we survived. 2010, we survived. 2011, we started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Perseverance.
Yes, we started doing a lot of short sales like crazy. And then we started looking at developers coming back into developing lands. Remember, we didn't have any open permits for new development for 4 years now. And then 2011, the Related Group did put the first step on it. They bought a small lot in Brickell, and they built a 160 unit tower, small tower. It's My Brickell. You remember My Brickell?
Yeah, and they still have the offices over there in Brickell.
Yeah, so My Brickell didn't have a parking garage. They don't have a parking garage. They share a parking garage with 500 Brickell, which was a Related Group project as well. But then they didn't want to risk it. It was 2011. They didn't know how the market was going to react after a huge crisis. But it happened that in less than 6 months, the project was all sold out. So that's when everybody started, Fortune started building.
Yeah, that's when Brickell started to develop it more.
Yes. So we had people starting to build, which is part of the of the economy that we need in real estate.
It's the mini New York of South Florida.
Yes, right now, yes, it is. And now, 2011, things started moving little by little. We got investors from all over the country, especially from Venezuela. We got a lot of investors from Venezuela coming in with a lot of cash that helped the economy, the real estate economy, a lot. I would say 80% of the deals, 70% of the deals were from Venezuelans. That helped a lot South Florida. And then 2012, I was doing really good in my personal sales as well, because in the process I got my license. I would say around somewhere, I don't remember, somewhere between 2006 2009, somewhere around there. And I started selling little things because my salary was not enough, so I had to do some sales, some rentals, some stuff like that. So that kind of helped me. But then all of a sudden, I started having really good clients. And that client referred me to another one, and that client referred me to another one, and another one, and another one. And I was selling all these new construction projects that they were paying really good commissions. But at the same time, I had the responsibility to be a sales manager in my office.
Let me tell you, that is not out of the nowhere. When you provide good service and with your background of military, your background of in hospitality, I'm sure that your service is above and beyond, and you were referred. That is one of the best ways to have business in
Yes.
this industry.
Yes.
You know, when the ball start, it keep growing and growing if you do it right.
Yeah, and one thing is that when you ask me what did you see real estate related to hospitality, which was what you always wanted, and I fell in love the first moment I started doing real estate, because the service, the clients and my agents, they became my guests, and that's the way I saw it. Well, I may not have guests sleeping in a room, but I have agents that need my service, and they're very happy with the service that I give, and consequently, I have the end users, the clients, who are really getting a great service. The agents were bringing me in the clients to introduce themselves, and for me to introduce myself to the clients. So it was part of the service. I was feeling like I was, because in hospitality, the manager is always introducing himself to the public, like saying, "Hey, how's everybody treating you? Is everybody okay?" So I was kind of like that.
And you're still, when you come this every morning, you go around all the office.
It's every office, and that's part of, and that's natural.
Yeah,
because
you go all the way saying good morning, how are you, good morning, good morning, and then you go to your office.
and then I go to my office. But that's number one, because for me, it's natural. I have to do it because I was always watching that from my dad. It's every day that was the same routine, and not only that, but with his guests, he was always greeting, like introducing himself and giving his card. Like, hey, if there's anything wrong, I'm the manager, so call me directly. So people see that like, wow, the manager, gave me the credit card, the the business card, so I can actually trust this guy. I can trust this company. So it gives that sense of trust that no other way you can get. Um, so yes, I was making going back to the question about how to Weicker Realtors Capella State. How did I become owner of that? So I was making good commissions. I was still working in real estate as a manager, and I had my responsibilities and my roles. But I knew that I wanted to grow, and I was not growing. I was not looking at my position as a growing position. So I spoke with one day. I spoke with my boss back then was Abraham Chehevar. He was my boss. And I talked to AB. AB, I want to talk to you. It was around 2012, somewhere around 2012. I told AB, it's been, I've been a manager for 8 years now. I have a lot of experience. I think I have a lot of experience now. I have a lot of knowledge, and I have the money. So I don't know when, but I think eventually I don't see any way of growing in this position. So eventually, if we don't do anything, I think I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna go, and I always wanted to give everybody, because this is some of the things that I have, some of my the roots that I have inside of me, and it's loyalty. I've always been very loyal. So even if you see my relationships, they're long relationships. I had a few relationships in the past before getting married, and then I've been in Wycard for more than 20 years now. So that's a lot of loyalty. But I felt loyal to my boss, to
Grateful
Abraham.
with everything, all the opportunity that he gave you.
Yes, a lot of, he helped me a lot during the process, and not only that, but he helped me obtaining my labor certificate, which which took me to my residency. So that's a
huge.
blessing. That's a blessing
Yeah.
in this country. Back then I said I felt that I had the responsibility of telling him I was not leaving. I was just
But what you
thinking
were feeling.
what I was feeling. And he said, Faco, because people call me Faco. If you don't know, people call me Faco. He said, Faco, don't worry. I know. I think I understand you. And we left
Maybe
it
he
like
was
that.
even prouder of you.
We just left the conversation there. Well, it happened that 2 weeks later, he came back. Came back to me and he said, Faco, let's
2 years later?
no 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks later, he came back and said, why don't let's have a conversation. Tell me what you want. And I said, well, I would love to open an office. So he asked me like, where? What are your plans? I told him, well, Pembroke Pines, because these of these I've been studying the market, blah blah blah. And he said, well, let's do it together. So he opened up the first opportunity for me to become a part owner of a Wycard office.
So from being the sales manager, you become a
Correct.
co-owner.
A co-owner of a new office in
branch.
Pembroke Pines, a branch. I was part of it. We had he had the majority, but I had a really good share. However, it was under the Wycard Realtors Best Beach umbrella, so that was the agreement.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of beaches, that beach ML, beach emails From
Yes.
people that are still there in the
Yeah.
office.
Yeah. Best Beach.
Like Rosalinda, she was from Beach, right?
Yeah. She's still, but those emails, they don't work anymore.
Yeah, but they're in the record.
They're definitely in the record. And I still, last week, I got one person who told me, "Is this your email, fcapella at bestbeach.net?" I'm like, no, it's been closed for years. But yes, he gave me the opportunity to become a part owner of one office. So what happened is 2013, we opened. We hired a new manager in the Pembroke Pines office. I trained that manager the way we wanted because I had the knowledge from the Western office. And we kind of did things together because the office were really close by. So I was still the manager, and I was overseeing the new manager of my office, which I co-own. And from 2013, by the end of 2015, we had about 80 plus agents in that office. So in less than 3 years, we grew from 0 agents, a brand new office, to 85 agents.
Wow.
In less than 3 years. And we came from losing money to producing money.
Wow.
So that was a great achievement. And then
is. So you should be very proud of that.
I'm very proud, and it's not easy in real estate to start from 0.
No, there's a lot of
It's not easy. Because yes, as you said, you have a lot of competition. You have a lot of people out there, a lot of companies offering different splits and different ways, different strategies.
And the big sharks.
Yes. And obviously, which is a different type of competition. I was not competing against them. My competition was different. Yeah. So I kind of
your culture, everything.
Yes. So 2016, 2015, I quit as a manager in Western, and I went fully. I transferred all my operation, my personal operation, to my office in Pembroke Pines. We hired a new manager in Weston. We trained that manager, and she stayed in Weston, and I moved my license and all my
records.
All my records to Pembroke Pines. Yes. That was 2016. Stayed there a couple years. 2018. My partner slash boss back then, former boss, Abraham, he started opening a very successful chain of restaurants, of healthy food restaurants. So he was doing really good. And he told me, "Hey, Fago, you know what? This business is really good. So I'm moving on to this." And then back then, what I did was like, well, let's negotiate. Let's see if I can become 100% owner of my office in Pembroke Pines. We came into an agreement. In addition, he offered me the Western office. We came into an agreement. I didn't have all that money, so we played some games there, some strategies to pay him, right, over time. Things that you do in
so he financed you?
Yes, things that you do in business. Yes, you still have the production. You can pay from the production, but you don't see any penny, any dollar for months, so for years. So we actually made the agreement. We got the approval from Weikert, and I became I had to apply for a new franchise because I was as a broker, as a sole broker and owner, and it was a different name. So I created Capella Estates LLC, and the name of the company was DBA Weicker Realtors Capella Estates. I signed
So
the
that is how
franchise
it
agreement.
born,
Yes.
White Realtors Capella Estates.
2018, I opened up the LLC. I signed up a new franchise agreement for 10 years in 2018, December of 2018, and January of 2019, I started operating as Weicker Realtors Capella Estates.
Wow, what a history!
Hmm.
That's so amazing. Um, wow. And what happened with that office of Pembroke Pines?
Well, that office, it was not, it was not a profitable. It was not profitable to have both.
It was
Not
very close one to each other,
it was.
right?
They were very close to each other, but I don't think it was only the profit. I think it was more of me being scared of having two offices and such huge expenses. I didn't have the pockets, so I kind of got scared as many times in my life. And I said, well, you know what? Let me do a business strategy here. The offices are really close, so let's merge both offices. Let's move everybody. Let's get a bigger office in West. We had a bigger office in Weston. Let's get a little bigger office in Weston, because they had the option to expand that office, a bigger space on the right. So why don't we just close the facilities in Pembroke Pines and move everybody to Weston? And that's what I did. So
Did
I
you lose
merged.
Did you lose
Yes,
agents in that
yes. I
process?
would say from all the Pembroke Pines office agents that I had about 80 some agents, and I would say I lost about 30% of the
Thirty
agents
percent is
of the
not
sales
so
force. Yeah,
bad.
yeah. I would say about 40 some ended up moving and staying with me. Today, there's a lot of agents from that Pembroke Pines office that are still
Do
with
you,
us.
do you at this time believe that that was a good move?
Yes, the industry. I think we were too close. We were too close.
And funny that today you do have two offices.
Yes,
We do have one office in Broward, Weston, and we do have another office in Miami,
correct.
Kendall.
And there's definitely if on my plans to keep expanding and keep growing.
And I love to
Maybe
hear that.
yes, I know you love to hear that because there's certain areas that are underserved. And when I talk about underserved, it's not because there are no real estate offices. No, there's real estate offices everywhere. There's realtors everywhere. I'm talking about good service companies, like full service real estate, people who guide you through the process, who understands the process, and who will take you from from listing the property to closing the sale to finding the client, everything.
That guide them. Not
The
only that
real
they
guide,
come, yeah, not
yes,
only that they come with the deals, but we have that strategy that we help people from zero. We open people with experience, but also new agents. We guide them with good education program and
there's
mentorship.
there is the industry. I think there's a lot of failures in the industry. I think brokers are too easy to become brokers. Should be more. Um, should be. I don't know. ¿Cómo decirte?
I don't
Como
know
que,
what you have in your mind.
como que apretar más. Como-
Okay, so this part we have to cut, edit, and continue when we are ready.
¿Qué iba a decir? Como que en la industria del real estate pienso que ser broker es muy fácil porque tienes realmente, o sea, que tienes 2 años de experiencia y listo. No, como que debería haber, o sea,
Bueno, 2 años de experiencia, pero tienen
más
que coger las
requirements,
clases y el
más
examen.
requirements.
En Puerto Rico tienen que tener estudios universitarios.
Aquí no tienes que tener estudio.
Sí.
So going back, okay, so I
Okay,
think,
so let's restart.
so I would say that there's a lot of failures in the brokerage business in real estate. I think it's too easy to become a broker. And what happened with that is that with only 2 years of 2 years of experience, which is the requirement in Florida is not enough to be able to educate agents. There's
So
a
years
lot
of
going on.
experience, another course that you can take in a
Yes,
few days, and another test, but
it should be more strict.
yeah,
Should
in
require at least
yeah,
as
in
you were
my
saying.
country, I'm from Puerto Rico. You need to have at least some education in.
Correct. And here you need high school, but there should be
No, we need
something
to have
related to business
we need to
or
have
sales.
university to be able
But
to.
that's another story. I think what I'm trying to say is that there's
Mismanagement.
a lot. They don't teach well. They don't teach the
Yeah, it's
industry.
not the
They don't
same
teach.
thing to know how to sell a home that to
Yes,
manage a real estate office and know how to do it.
correct. And that's what we have. That's what we have in White Realtors Capella States. I think it's a company that it's proud in teaching the real estate in the right way, real estate business the right way, the way it should be done. You you follow the steps, you provide great service, you build relationships for life, but you gotta learn the business, and you have to really understand the consumer and how everything is done in this industry to avoid mistakes, to avoid a client's misconception about the realtors, which happens a lot. And at the end, that's what we're trying to accomplish in our company.
What values are non-negotiable in your leadership and company culture that you said, okay, no, you cannot be part of my group, even though that you sell a lot? No.
There are a few, but I think the most important ones. Number one will be integrity. Um, it's something that you cannot be a you cannot develop in life. You cannot improve. That comes within you. You have to really be an integral person. You really have to show integrity in your dealings, meaning that you do things not because somebody else is watching you. It's because you know that is the right thing to do.
Do the right
Do the
thing
right thing.
always.
Yes. So that number one is integrity. Number two, in my dealings, even though this industry is not like that, but I truly, truly appreciate loyalty. And loyalty, it says a lot about a person's personality. It tells a lot about who that person that you're dealing with is. Um, I understand there's a lot of options, there are a lot of opportunities, but I truly appreciate loyalty. And number three, it goes all together with integrity, which is honesty. Um, I trust a lot in people. I just trust. That's my. I would say some people think it's un weakness. It's a weakness, um, but it's just the way I am. So I trust too much in people, and I let people um, uh, thrive and do their things and talk, and it, it's just part of how I am. So yeah, that's it.
But that is honorable because um, people deserve to have opportunity unless they mess it up. They have the opportunity and you trust in them and what they say that they will bring on the table and what they are supposed to do and the deals that the agreements that we had to get, you have together. But when they felt that,
Yeah,
it broke.
yeah. I just trust my wife keeps telling me you trust too much. Yes, I trust too much, and I
But it's
think
you're
I'm.
innocent until prove that you are guilty, right?
Life proves you wrong. It's hard. You take some hits in life. Um, I'm just not someone that I believe that there's more good people than bad people, and I will always believe that and will die with that because I think there's more good people in the world. And I was raised in a family with of good people. You know, it's fun to say that because um, from my grandfather, my grandmother, you would see them and they were like beautiful, perfect people. It's like you could see them together and they wouldn't harm anybody. They would, and the people that and my mom and my aunts, everybody in that family, it's like my God, amazing.
Or do you think that you have so many angels?
Yeah, that's it's part of that it's part of the whole way I grew up.
And as you have been talking here, you can tell that you are a family man.
Yes, that family comes first. So that's one of my principles. I would say no matter how hard the situation is, no matter how much work you have to put a stop if it's your family. Um, and I
And you
believe
treat
in that.
the people in your staff as family as well,
They
in a
they
different
became
way.
my family, yes, because it's been years. I mean, been working with a lot of them for years. It's just and it's every day. I see them every day, and we go out together. We hang out together sometimes. Some of them were my party friends back then when I was not married. So yes, very good friends.
How do you see real estate evolving for your business? Let's say what will be in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now. What do you want?
Uh, I believe in this business of a way of people business. It is a people by people business. It is a handshake business. It is looking into people's eyes and making business and closing business. I don't think that's gonna change. Uh, People trust and people will buy you first. People will buy before they buy you, as Jim Weicker says. People buy people before they buy any product or service. So I'm a true believer in that, and that's one of the reasons that I'm with Weicker, because I will never change seeing someone in person and closing the business and making relationships about this career. Now, it will change technology as it's happening right now. You know, it's transforming the industry, but I think at the end you have to adapt more. You wouldn't believe 10, 15 years ago we were talking about this same thing and people were saying no, buyers or clients will stop using real estate agents. Back then it was 86, 85% of clients were using real estate agents, of closings were using real estate agents, and now it's more than 95%. So it's been growing and growing and growing. For some reason, people know they need the real advice because we breathe real estate. We know exactly, and
Personal
it's
touch.
the most important investments in their life. So they don't take that for granted like that. It's not an easy decision, and they want a real expert behind.
And technology is here to facilitate our business, but definitely it doesn't substitute a person.
It will never. I don't
Never.
think that's gonna happen. That's the reality. They may come robots coming up as you see robots from Tesla and all this stuff. But the dealing with people and making that relationship, because you become their family and you want to do business with your family. And again, I still believe in good people, and good people work together.
What role do you think technology, AI, and all the tools that we have nowadays to make our business easier are transforming our business? And also, what advantages do you think that our company has in terms with other ones? Because they rely too much in technology and they forget that we are a business about people for people.
Well, I think technology at the end it's gonna help in a way of it would require us as agents, as the brokers, to really understand the business and to know about the industry, about the trends, of everything that's going on, because the consumer with all the technology can know all about the industry, about the updates, about the economy, everything. It can be
Especially with AI, that you can have a real
correct. You can
conversation at the
have a
moment.
real, but it will never change the experience of an agent on dealing, on negotiating, understanding the personality of the seller, of the buyer, of knowing where to get. Because at the end, a business is done like that. Business, as I said, people buy people first. So there's no way to sell a business just by, and especially a house that has so many feelings attached to it, um, without really establishing a conversation, without really knowing what your real needs are, what your current situation is. Every scenario is different, so that's not gonna change. You need to be aware of the market. You need to know better what's going on with the economy, with the real estate industry. But at the end, they still gonna need you to negotiate. They still gonna need you to get you to your dream house. So
And the same thing with agents, because there are companies nowadays that you don't even have the opportunity to talk with the broker
correct.
or to have that coaching of someone that sits with you and that
Yes.
is a real human. Because yes, computers can help a lot, but they don't have the sensibility or sense of human. It's impossible to duplicate. You can have an avatar, but it's not the same thing.
Correct.
It will never be. And I am thinking about how nowadays uh, our customers and people are giving more value, and they are uh, they are more into the weird of receiving like a thank you note handwriting, that they value more than an email, a text message, because it's so nowadays normal that they don't even know
Every
if it's
yes.
something real sent or it's an automatization.
Right, every text message, most of the messages today are like robots.
Exactly.
It's a chatbot.
Exactly.
Everything. It's like, so that touch, and that's something that we do in the company. And I really want everyone to understand that, that touch, that personal touch, can never change, and that's the philosophy. Um, because at the end, you're building a relationship, you're building a family, and and the person that you're selling right now that house, they will use you forever, and they will refer you more people, more.
Just if you provide the right
Of
service and
course,
follow up.
yeah, with the right service. But then you become, if you're providing the right service, you don't only become the realtor, but you become the realtor or of all the family members, including their sons and their grandsons, and you just
Family and
keep growing.
friends.
It's gonna be always. That's the beauty about it.
What advice do you give agents who wants to build long-term success in this changing market?
Um, exactly the same. It's don't forget about that personal touch. Be ahead of all the real estate trends,
Education.
because you have to really understand the market. You cannot be caught off guard with a question about how's the market. that and that's something we do in every sales meeting. We talk about the market. I think everybody needs to be aware of how's the market doing. They need to know their ratios, basic ratios. I mean, we don't need to be economists to know the market absorption rate. It's very simple formula, and you need to know the neighborhood market absorption rate, if properties are selling or not selling, who's got the new properties for sale, who's selling, who's not, what's sold, what's the price per square foot. Basic stuff you need to know.
So, after talking with you about that, in 10 years, realtors are not going anywhere. At the contrary, we are staying stronger and better. How do you want to be remembered? What is the legacy that you want to leave behind for your kids, and who is Francisco Capella?
I think someone I want to be remembered by someone who always helped people, someone who was always in front of, who was always honest, who was always um, who has integrity all his life, um, with a great sense of friendship, and someone who actually you learn a lot or inspire you to become greater. So
That is a great way to remember you.
yes,
This has been an honor. Thank you so much for your time.
thank you so much for
I
inviting
already
me.
admire you, and I admire you more now. It's a pleasure to work with you, and I am closing this today, letting you know that when you are successful, as he said, it's not by accident. It's because you work hard, work smart, and when you are with the right people and team nearby you. If you want to hear more about us, connect with us. You have the information here. We will be more than happy to provide you orientation if you are looking to sell, buy, or you are an agent looking for a home. We will be welcoming you with open arms. Thank you so much, Francisco.
Thank you so much. All right.
This has been amazing.
All right. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Talk to you
See you
soon.
next time.